the Rudge Whitworth wartime production by Raleigh, this one. I am reliably informed, and I've not actually filmed this or done anything, well, said anything more about it since I got it, since John brought it back for me, and I had a brief ride on it. In fact, the first ride out after giving it a once over, and a car turned across the road in front of me, straight into the side of the car. There I was on the deck. She said she thought she had enough time to turn. Well, evidently not. And she then, well, I caught up with her and some bloke went after her, but she did a runner, or tried to. That's all been dealt with, but there was some damage sustained, first of all to me, where I went and hit the tarmac, and secondly, and more annoyingly really, the bloody bike. But the incident has been dealt with, although I've tried repairing it, although as you'll see in just a moment, there is an outstanding job, a defect, something still quite badly wrong with it, which is making it unpleasant to ride. So it's still not fully roadworthy yet, but all the brake gear, all the brake rods were badly mangled, handlebars twisted round, wheel pointed in one direction. You know how it goes with a frontal collision on a bike. There's only one winner, and it's never you. So just putting that to one side for the moment, it was actually, well, it still is. I mean, that experience sort of tainted things for a while, psychologically, as they are apt to do, but no matter, I got back on with things. So today, months later, I decided to do this little video on it. So I'm just going to sort of pick up where I think I left off on the introductory video. It is, I'm going to say was, still is really, in excellent overall condition. When I saw it, I just had to buy it because the condition, it's brilliant. It's got what some in the antique trade like to call patina. I just call it, it's been well looked after. Somebody has looked after this. The bloke who I bought it off said it was an ex-guardsman's bike, which could well tie into it being from the Second World War period. I think 1940 was the date quoted from the frame numbers. But it's got the chrome parts painted black, which could have been an austerity measure. It probably was at this time, although I think, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, I think there was an option on bikes at the time to have just black painted steel as opposed to chrome. So the buyer had a bit of choice in the matter. I'm not sure. I like it anyway. I do like it in all black steel. We've got the Rudge palm there, the outward facing hand, Rudge Coventry. Half a Rudge on the lamp bracket. Sturmy Archer, of course, quadrant gear lever on the top tube. And a really, really nice paint finish, which has got to be original because the transfers there still are the remains of it, and there's traces of gold lining. So just a really, really nice, honest survivor bike, really. This is one that's been kept indoors, it's never been left outside. It can't have been, otherwise it wouldn't be as nice as it is. Westwood rims. These are pure Westwood rims for the stirrup brakes there, or rod brakes, or roller lever, or whatever you want to call them. And the brakes on this are the best rod brakes I've ever used, although it still wasn't, they still weren't quick enough to avert a collision, unfortunately. Neither were my reactions. But the brakes on this, especially the rear one, I was well impressed with that because it'll lock up the rear wheel. And as many of you will know, rod brakes can be quite variable, to put it mildly. Sturmy Archer AW hub. Now, I mistakenly thought, and this is why I don't really like saying too much about a bike I've just bought until other people more knowledgeable tell me about it, or I've done a bit of research, because I was surprised to see an AW hub. My initial thought was that it was a later replacement, but no, it's the original, because I think the AW debuted in the late 1930s to replace the K-type. Dunlop rims, as many of them were back then. Again, the Rudge palm, the red hand of Rudge on the chain wheel, a very nice feature. Crimped and separate rear seat stay. I put the dynamo on just for a bit of fun, really. I could tell it had one fitted anyway at some point in its life, because they always leave a mark where the earth screws been screwed into the tubing there. I've just taken the lens off because as I bought it, it was all in pieces, being a jewelled glass one, so I don't want any more bits to fall out and get lost. But that's just me playing about, really. The pump, that's something I've added. Nice period piece, because it didn't come with one, and that's an Apex. You can just see that there, Apex. Steel. You didn't often see them in steel, they were usually celluloid. With a nice pump clip as well, sprung, you see. So that's quite nice. I fitted the correct gear change cable. That was a genuine new old stock one. The saddle's a bit of an anomaly when you take this bike as a whole, because the saddle is very, very worn and the rest of the bike is in remarkably good condition. But it's got that old style seat tube there, you see, which makes you sit a bit farther forward. I actually quite like that. I like being slightly further forward. And it's quite a big frame, which is nice. I think it's a 24-inch frame. So a good size frame for me, being, well, I'm not massively tall, but I'm reasonably tall. Tall enough to ride a large frame. Right saddle. I've got something coming up. I'll get onto that in just a moment. Saddle talk. What else? Oh yeah, pedals as well. Evidently these are the ubiquitous Union replacement, and they look like either ladies' pedals or something for a juvenile's bike. They do. They're not full-size gents pedals. I've got a plan. Something I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fit that much more in keeping with the bike. A nice period piece. So the collision damage, well, what's wrong with it? If I get it onto the path, mount it. Now the handlebars are straight. You might be able to see this just looking down, that the wheel is tilted to the right. Now when I was straightening the forks did seem to me to be like skewed over to one side, and only having had the bike a very short time, and that being its first ride, I couldn't remember, or I wasn't aware if it was like that when I bought it, so I straightened them out as best I could. But this has happened now. The wheel has canted over to the right, which of course makes you pull. It's pulling the bike as if the tracking was off on your car. It's the same effect, it's pulling to the right. So further work is required, because it's not nice to ride like this at all. Which is why I'm now going to head back to base. I'll just have a look around this side. Nice clean lines. It's even got its original, the proper screw-in oiler there as well for the bottom bracket. It's just so complete, really. I mean, the pedals not being left as they were is immaterial, really. That's neither here nor there. The majority of bikes have had replacement pedals, certainly at this age. But yeah, I'm going to go back to base now. And we'll have a look at this replacement saddle I've got. So that is the saddle I intend to fit. It's a Brooks B, I think it's a B90. Very old-fashioned style anyway, and this is certainly very old. It's quite a big saddle, certainly lengthwise. I call it the safety pin saddle because of that. Fortunately, it doesn't have a sharp pin-like rear end. But I thought I bought this because it looks like it would fit on a bike like the Rudge of that era. Very old. This could actually be older than the bike. In fact, I have a feeling it does predate it. somebody has repaired it, and they've made a repair, a very old repair, that where one of the spring cups has gone, or one of the rivets underneath there to the frame, that's gone, and someone has made a repair. So I like that. They've kept it going quite neatly as well. Countersunk the well, it would have bitten into the leather, but they've used a dome-headed screw, but with the unfortunate consequence of losing one of the saddlebag strap takers, strap holders. The other consideration, and none of my otherwise suitable mattress saddles have this feature, is this cutout. That the vast majority of Brooks saddles, even the new ones, have this indentation here. Now that is purely for that style of seat post. This, you see, in order to get the saddle onto this seat post, it needs that cutout to clear this part, and many of the mattress saddles, even of this age, do not have that indentation. It is a pity about this, but maybe another Wright's example in much better condition will present itself with the chance to buy. But in the meantime, I'll fit the B90. There, I've just fitted this, quickly transferred it over, and yeah, I think that looks the part. You've got to make sure the securing nuts are very tight, otherwise it can disconcertingly move about under weight. And you'll see it's angled slightly upwards, which is the ideal saddle position for comfort. Should always be angled, the nose of it slightly upwards. Well, that's your lot for this one. I'll see you in the next one.